By the time volleyball practice ended, the sun had already slipped low behind the trees lining the football field. The school felt hollow in that way it only ever did after hours. Too quiet, too big, every sound echoing longer than it should. Most of the team showered quickly and left in clusters, laughing as they headed out the front doors. A few were picked up by parents. A couple had cars. Within minutes, the locker room that had been loud and humid was empty, except for one person. His name was Alex Rivera, a junior who played outside hitter. His mom worked late and was never on time to pick him up. It had become routine for Alex to sit on one of the wooden benches in the locker room, earbuds in, phone in hand, waiting for the text that said, "I'm here." He liked the locker room when it was empty. It felt safe, familiar. He'd been there so many times that the rattling vents and flickering fluorescent lights barely registered anymore. That evening, Alex had just finished tying his shoes when he heard a sound that didn't belong. A loud metallic bang echoed through the hallway beyond the locker room. He paused, one shoe still loose, listening. Another bang followed, slower this time, deliberate. It sounded like someone yanking on one of the exterior doors, the one that led directly to the track and football field. That door was supposed to stay locked after school hours. Everyone knew that. Alex stood up, irritation mixing with unease. He assumed it was a parent who didn't know where the main entrance was. It happens sometimes. He walked to the door that connected the locker room to the outside corridor and peered through the narrow glass window. A man stood on the other side. He was tall, wearing a dark hoodie with the hood pulled up despite the mild weather. He looked too old to be a student. His posture was tense, shoulders hunched, like he was bracing against something unseen. The man noticed Alex immediately. He stepped closer to the glass and raised a hand. "Hey," he called out, his voice muffled through the door. "Can you let me in? I'm here to pick up my son." Alex hesitated. Something about the man's tone felt rushed, urgent. "There's a front entrance. You're supposed to go around." The man shook his head. "That's too far. Please, I'm late. He's probably freaking out." Alex glanced down the hallway. Empty, silent. Every school assembly he'd ever sat through echoed faintly in his head. Don't open doors for strangers. Always send them to the office. But the man didn't look angry. He didn't look dangerous, just stressed. Alex told himself he was overthinking it. He unlocked the door and pushed it open. "Thanks," the man said quickly, slipping inside. He didn't make eye contact, didn't slow down. He moved past Alex and disappeared down the hall toward the main building. Alex stood there for a moment, listening to the fading sound of footsteps. Then he shrugged, went back into the locker room, and sat down to wait. Less than 2 minutes passed. The alarm exploded into sound. "Lockdown!" The lights flickered. A mechanical voice blared through the speakers, repeating the same instructions over and over. Alex's phone buzzed at the same time with an automated alert. Lockdown in effect. Screams erupted somewhere deeper in the school. Alex jumped to his feet, his heart hammered as he rushed to the light switch and flipped it off. The locker room plunged into darkness, lit only by the dull glow from the hallway emergency lights. There was no door to lock, no classroom to barricade. Panicking, Alex scanned the room and made a split-second decision. He yanked open a locker near the back wall and crawled inside, pulling the metal door shut behind him. The locker smelled of old sweat and disinfectant. It was barely wide enough for him to breathe comfortably. He pressed his ear against the metal and listened. At first, all he could hear were distant alarms and muffled shouting, running footsteps, doors slamming. Then, footsteps entered the locker room. Slow, heavy. Alex's breath caught in his throat. Someone moved between the rows of lockers, their shoes scraping against the tile. They weren't running. They weren't panicking, they were searching. Another set of footsteps followed, faster, desperate. Someone else burst into the room, breathing hard. Alex dared to peer through the narrow vents in the locker door. He saw the second person clearly. It was the man he had led inside. The hoodie was gone. In its place was a dark jacket. His face was partially hidden behind a pale mask, cheap plastic, the kind you'd see around Halloween. In his right hand was a machete. The blade was wet. It caught the emergency light as he moved, leaving dark streaks across the floor. The man charged between the rows of lockers, slashing at random doors, metal shrieking with each strike. He screamed incoherently, rage-filled words echoing through the room. Alex squeezed his eyes shut, gripping the inside handle of the locker as tightly as he could. A locker 2 spaces down burst open. Someone screamed. Then silence. The man stopped moving. Alex felt it before he heard it, the sense of being watched. The masked man slowly turned his head. He stepped closer to Alex's locker, his masked face inches from the vents, his eye visible through the hollow plastic. He stared directly inside. "I know you're in there," the man said softly. His voice was calm now, controlled. "Come out." Alex didn't move. The machete slammed into the locker door. Metal buckled inward, missing Alex's knee by inches. Alex bit down on his lip to keep from screaming. The man yanked the blade free, preparing to strike again. Then, sirens wailed in the distance. Police. The man froze. For a split second, he saw something flicker behind the mask. Panic. Calculation. The man turned and sprinted out of the locker room the same way he'd come in. Alex stayed hidden, shaking until uniformed officers burst in moments later. He told them everything: the door, the man, the machete. They listened. They took notes. They nodded grimly. A student was found injured elsewhere in the school, alive but barely. Another student was never located. The man was never found either. The case went cold. Years later, Alex would still replay that moment in his head, the instant where he stood at the door, hand on the handle, deciding whether to open it. He would always wonder who the man was hunting, and what would have happened if the sirens had arrived just a little later.